In the next 2 minutes, I want to make you think about and reflect on wait time as part of your classroom questioning strategies. Now, wait time is really interesting because traditionally, all of the studies that have looked at this say that as teachers, we normally give less than 1 second wait time when we ask a question. And when you think about that, that's ridiculous. We ask a question, sometimes we have students who go, yes, 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 yes. They put their hand up really quickly and we go, yes, give me an answer. And it's literally the first thing on their mind that they just want to kind of spit out at us. We're not giving any thinking time to that child. And worse than that, we're not allowing any thinking time to anyone else in the room. And I've talked a lot about cognitive partition rates and getting students to be thinking more in our classrooms. Well, the only way we can do that is to give them the opportunity to think. And if we're allowing students to shout answers out or give us answers within a second, we're not giving anybody else in the classroom any time to think. And worse than that, even worse than that, if I'm a lazy boy in the classroom and I know that 3 or 4 children are always going to be selected to answer really, really quickly, what's the point of me ever even bothering to think? Because I know that people are going to think quicker than me, or they're going to answer the question quicker than me. A bit like if you're watching a game show at home and someone answers a question and you're trying to think, it's almost spoilt the moment for you. So how do we build it in? Well, first type of wait time is that when you ask a question, you need to let it almost simmer in the ether a little bit and give students a bit of wait time before you ask a student to answer it. So it might just be 3, 4, 5 seconds. It's not a long time. It might feel like a long time if you're stood there in silence, and this is where you need to get used to it and be comfortable in periods of silence. But even just 3 or 4 seconds gives students some thinking time to be able to give you an answer. What also happens when we do this is we get better answers from students, we get longer answers from students, we get better and more well-articulated answers from students. Of course we're going to, because we've given them a bit of time to think about how to do that, to process that. The second wait time, though, is the wait time you give yourself after a student gives an answer. We're far too quick sometimes as teachers to we get an answer and we then want to kind of, oh yeah, I know what you mean, yeah, and we kind of make it better and the child goes, oh yeah, that's what I meant, and you're like, no you didn't. Or we kind of go, right, no, or let's move on. So if you get a wrong answer, what's your response going to be? How do you give yourself a bit of processing time to think, well, what am I going to say here? Am I going to say, no, that's wrong? Am I going to say, that's interesting, can you give me some more detail? How am I going to probe it further? And by giving yourself 3 or 4 seconds about how am I going to respond, will make your responses far more effective. And one little tip I've got for you on this, if you're stood in front of someone and they give you an answer, it might be quite awkward to give yourself a bit of wait time and just be looking at them because you kind of stood just looking at them. Just give yourself a few paces across the classroom and walk back to your desk, or just give a, that's interesting. And you just give your own self a bit of think time to think, how am I going to now respond in the best way to do this? So wait time, really, really crucial for deep thinking, not only for our students, but for ourselves as well in how we respond.